everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining me on my YouTube channel once again. The gameplay you guys are seeing in front of you today is some more Halo Master Chief Collection, but this time it's some Halo 4 gameplay. Not my favorite Halo game ever. That title will be given to Halo Reach. But Halo 4 does come in with some new welcome changes when it first came out. Sprinting, which doesn't rely on an armor ability, hit markers when you land shots on an opponent, and some few, I guess you could call them perks, that would change the style of your gameplay depending on what kind of player you are. But enough about Halo 4. What I really want to chat to you guys about today is how much I'm enjoying being able to do some video edits and upload some gameplay. As you guys may already know from my previous videos, doing YouTube and uploading gameplay commentaries has been something that I've always wanted to do when I was a teenager. And there were a few reasons that held me back from doing it. One of them was, well, I didn't want to be made fun of or bullied as a kid. I did go to an all-boys high school with a lot of toxic masculinity around. And this was before video games hit mass adoption. This was when video games were still seen as quite nerdy, and there was a bit of a stigma to staying at home and playing video games, even if you were doing it online with friends. But it was still looked down upon as more of an antisocial activity that you do by yourself. Now I've reached an age that I don't really care what other people think. Video games has become mass adopted almost everywhere. You'd be hard pressed to find a household that doesn't have some sort of gaming PC or gaming console. And the ability to capture video gameplay has become much more affordable than it was, say, 10 years ago. Where back then your only options were buying a personal DVR, and now there are so many more affordable alternatives, which is what I'm using now. But the real reason why you guys might be here is not only to watch this fantastic gameplay, it's actually not that great. I think we end up losing, but the real reason why you guys might be here is to listen to some relaxing real life commentary about real life issues. One thing that's on my mind recently as I gear up to purchase a house in the country that I'm in is how unaffordable it's become and how unobtainable it's becoming for people as millennials. The amount of money that we're expected to save to put towards a house deposit is astronomical. This, coupled with a rising cost of living, is just impossible to do for a lot of people's cases, unless you're in an incredibly well-off position where, say for example, you've got family that can help you out, or you're in the luxury of having a well-paid job. You're in for a world of pain. What's particularly upsetting about the country that I'm in right now is, even though I love this place, the current government is struggling to find a solution to the housing unaffordability. They have implemented strategies to disincentivize people who already have houses and multiple properties, which is fine, I get it. They obviously want to stop people from buying more and more properties and eventually making the existing properties completely unaffordable for new homeowners like myself. But one thing that they haven't addressed is a new supply of new homes for homeowners. Because the reason why these house prices are going up, mainly, is because that there's a lack of supply. And if anyone has ever done economics at a very basic level, say in high school, you will understand that it's all about supply and demand. The less supply there is, the higher demand, and that means they can charge as much as they want. So this is something that our government, and I think a lot of governments around the world, haven't quite managed to grasp, which is how are they going to produce a bunch of new properties and houses for millennials and Gen Z people to be able to call their forever home. If I could do my life over once again, I would certainly choose to become a real estate agent, because man, I think they are making money hand over fist in this economy right now. Even the shittiest, ugliest houses that are on the market, where maybe 20 years ago they wouldn't be worth a lot, are now going for a heck of a lot more, close to that 1 mil mark. But absolutely, I do appreciate what real estate agents have to go through. I definitely appreciate the amount of work that they need to put in to secure a sale. It's definitely not money just handed to them. They have a lot of stuff they need to do in the background. where perhaps everyday people like you and me, we don't see. But what really grinds my gears is how we're expected to continue saving and scrounging away all of our money while the rest of the world continues living on. It doesn't mean that we stop paying our bills. If anything, they get more expensive. Grocery prices, astronomical. Electricity prices, ever growing. And it's not like we can cut a lot of these things out. Things like utility bills, such as your power, internet, mobile phone bills, they aren't really getting any cheaper, and they're certainly not going to become any less of a necessity. So what's really fascinating about the people in our age group right now is that they're turning towards different forms of investment. I read an article on the results of a consumer investment survey, which you see up on your screen right now. This graph essentially shows you that a whole lot of new people are investing in things like stocks and cryptocurrency, which I can imagine none of these people would have ever thought about doing these things had the housing market not become what it is today. People like me, and I'm sure some of you guys watching as well, are also considering being able to put their money somewhere else, because if we just continue grinding our 9-to-5 jobs, it's simply going to be impossible, as it's not enough to be able to get ourselves onto the property ladder. Whilst everything else is rising in price, that includes all the property, they're all rising in value. Don't get me wrong, this video is certainly not an attack on the people who have already got properties or are property investors. Kudos to them, and if I could be anything like them, I would love to be. I love how majority of these people are super smart, they know exactly what's going on in the market, and they know how to make their money work for them. What's becoming increasingly evident is that these are the type of people that has created the problem in the housing crisis that we're in right now. So, naturally, measures need to be put in place to be able to slow down the amount of properties that they are buying. If I do have any viewers on this video today, I'd love to be able to hear about how you guys are investing your money. And if you have made it already as a young, perhaps 20 or 30-year-old person, how have you managed to get onto the property ladder? I'd be really interested to hear about your story down in the comments below. And as you can see, I don't have a lot of viewers or subscribers, so I certainly will have the time to be able to read through any and all comments. But obviously, as you can tell, I am someone who is looking at buying his first property sometime in the near future. And if you're like me, who don't have financially literate parents, that's okay. A lot of these processes will seem very foreign and very daunting to you, much like it did to me. So within the next couple of videos, what I'll do is talk about the processes that I'm currently going through, the lawyers that I'm speaking to, the mortgage brokers that I've engaged, and the real estate agents that's helping me look for my perfect property. If you're interested in seeing that type of video, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and also like the current video that you're watching. Thank you so much for tuning back in. I wish you all the best in your career, personal and financial endeavors, and I hope to see you soon in the next one. Take care.